If these 7 signs resonate, you're truly a dimensional chosen one. There are moments in life when something inside you whispers, "You're not like everyone else." It isn't arrogance, it isn't delusion, and it isn't escapism. It's a recognition that the texture of your existence doesn't quite match the script most people follow. While others seem perfectly content chasing predictable goals, playing safe roles, or settling into the comfort of belonging, you've always felt a current underneath your reality, something bigger, stranger, and harder to explain. That current is what I call the dimensional calling. If these 7 signs resonate with you, then you're not just someone wandering through existence. You are one of the few prepared to carry the weight of being a dimensional chosen one. And that weight is not easy, but it is meaningful beyond measure. The first sign is that you have never been able to fully assimilate into the ordinary. No matter how hard you tried to fit into school cliques, corporate environments, family expectations, or societal roles, something in you resisted. Not out of rebellion for rebellion's sake, but because the structures felt too small for the depth you carried. It wasn't just that you were different, it was that the frameworks most people accept as normal life felt like cages. At times, you've probably asked yourself, why can't I just be like everyone else? But deep down, you already know the answer. You weren't designed to repeat old cycles. You were designed to step beyond them. Think of it. How many times have you forced yourself to conform only to feel sick inside, as though a part of your soul was suffocating? That sickness is the dimension inside you refusing to be silenced.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The second sign is that you feel time differently. While others measure their lives in schedules, deadlines, and birthdays, you've noticed that your relationship with time bends in strange ways. Hours slip away when you're immersed in something meaningful, yet days drag endlessly when you're doing something shallow. Sometimes you sense events before they unfold, like an echo of the future calling back to you, or you feel déjà vu so strongly it borders on a memory rather than a glitch. This isn't just sensitivity, it's attunement. Dimensional chosen ones carry a clock that doesn't tick according to society's rhythm, it ticks according to truth. That is why you sometimes feel like you're ahead of others, and why waiting for the world to catch up frustrates you. Ask yourself, do you trust your inner timing, or do you still let the world's shallow clocks dictate your life? The third sign is that you attract chaos and synchronicity in equal measure. Life for you is never neutral. It swings between extremes. Just when everything seems stable, a sudden upheaval crashes in. Jobs ending, friendships breaking, opportunities collapsing. Yet, just as often, unexpected synchronicities arrive, meeting someone at the exact right moment, stumbling upon knowledge you weren't supposed to find, doors opening in ways you can't logically explain. This is not randomness. Dimensional chosen ones are tested through chaos but guided by synchronicity. The chaos shatters what is false, and the synchronicity pulls you toward alignment. Most people can't handle that much volatility, but you've noticed you keep surviving storms that leave others broken. Why? Because you are built to. The storms are not punishments, they are calibrations, preparing you for a frequency the average soul cannot hold. The fourth sign is that you carry visions or insights you can't explain. You might receive flashes in dreams, sudden knowing about people's true intentions, or inner downloads of wisdom far beyond your years. At times you question whether you're imagining things, but then reality confirms your visions. People confess secrets you already sensed. Events unfold just as you predicted, and advice you give without planning transforms lives. This isn't coincidence. Dimensional chosen ones tap into layers of reality that most people cannot perceive. But the challenge is responsibility. Are you using your insight wisely, or are you letting it rot unused? If you dismiss it as just imagination, you betray the very gift that marks you. Deep knowing demands integration. The fifth sign is that you have endured darkness others cannot imagine. Dimensional chosen ones are not handed their strength, they are forged in fire. You've likely faced betrayals, losses, or inner battles that should have destroyed you, and maybe at times you felt like they did. But notice this. Every collapse birthed a new version of you. Every heartbreak gave you eyes sharper than before. While others drown in despair, something in you refuses to stay submerged. You rise, not because it's easy, but because your soul has a contract with something larger than your suffering. This resilience is not luck. It's evidence that you're tempered steel in a world of fragile glass. Ask yourself honestly, did you not discover your deepest wisdom at your lowest points? And if so, can you see now that the darkness was training, not punishment? The sixth sign is that people are drawn to you in strange ways. Some seek you for comfort, sensing your depth even if you don't speak. Others fear you, avoiding eye contact, as if you carry a mirror too honest for their liking. Strangers may confess things to you without knowing why, while friends either lean on you as their anchor or turn against you in envy. This polarization isn't about you being good or bad, it's about your frequency. Dimensional chosen ones emit an energy that reveals people to themselves. Those ready for truth are magnetized, while those hiding from it are repelled. You are a catalyst whether you want to be or not. The challenge is, will you accept this responsibility, or will you shrink back and try to hide what cannot be hidden? The seventh and final sign is that you carry a restless sense of mission. No matter how much you achieve, there is always a whisper inside, there is more. While others are satisfied with comfort, you feel uneasy in stagnation. You may not know your mission clearly yet, but you feel it pressing at the edges of your consciousness. It wakes you up at night, it makes you dissatisfied with shallow success, and it calls you to keep searching. This restlessness is not a curse, it is a compass. It ensures that you don't settle for a life too small for your soul. Only those who are dimensional chosen feel this depth of yearning, because only they are tasked with carrying it. The real question is, will you numb that mission with distraction, or will you brave the unknown to follow it? If these signs resonate, then you know you are not here for a normal journey. You are here to be stretched, tested, awakened, and unleashed. But recognizing the signs is only the beginning. The harder task is learning how to survive the intensity that comes with being chosen. Because gifts are not free, they demand endurance. And that endurance requires skills most people never bother to learn. How to survive the weight of being a dimensional chosen one. Practical practices that keep you whole. Survival begins with physiology. The soul can be brave, but the body must be trained to carry the load. If you are chosen, your nervous system will be assaulted by frequencies others never feel. Sudden dread, buzzing pressure in your head, weeping that comes without cause. Learn first aid for your inner weather, a simple breath ritual that you memorize and use immediately when the room tilts. Inhale deep for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Repeat until your chest loosens. Sleep is non-negotiable armor, not a luxury. Build a pre-sleep protocol. Dim lights, 90 minutes before bed, no screens. A short grounding exercise where you name 3 concrete things you did well today. Cold exposure, even brief cold showers, trains your system to tolerate shock and resets your fight/flight reflexes. Food matters. Stabilize blood sugar with regular protein at breakfast and avoid late-night stimulants that amplify psychic noise. Your body is the vessel for the dimension inside you. Treat it as a sacred craft that requires daily maintenance. Boundaries are your next front line. The dimensional calling makes you porous to other people's intensity. Projections, addictions, cravings for your validation. Without clear limits, you will quickly burn out. Begin with small, visible boundaries. Close your office door for an hour daily. Mute social apps for a block of focus time. Say no to 1 invitation each week that drains you. Practice a verbal boundary formula that feels honest. I hear you, but I can't take that on right now. Repeat it until it becomes muscle memory. Equally important are inner boundaries. When someone hurls projection at you, name it aloud to yourself. That is their fear, not mine, and then breathe it out. This simple act breaks the unconscious habit of carrying other people's shadows. Ritual gives you sacred containers. The dimensional life is volatile. Without ritual, your days will be hijacked by chaos. Anchor yourself with 3 immovable practices: a morning ritual, movement, breath, a statement of intention, a midday check-in, 5 minutes of silence to assess energy, and an evening ritual, reflection, gratitude, letting go. These do not need to be elaborate. Consistency is the power, and cleansing transitions. A splash of water with intention, a short walk after difficult conversations, a 5-minute journaling release after intense dreams. Ritual marks thresholds so that the dimension surges happen inside frameworks you control rather than becoming random storms that destroy you. Training discernment is a survival art. Not every unusual sensation, gut hit, or prophetic image deserves full engagement. Ask 3 quick calibration questions before acting. Is this mine? Is this true? Will engaging move me towards service or reaction? If any answer leans no, close the door. Practice this on small triggers first. An impulse to reply in anger, a craving to overshare, then apply it to larger psychic hits. Keep a short log for 2 weeks. Note when you engaged and the result. Patterns will show you which currents are edible and which are toxic. Discernment grows from repeated, deliberate refusal to be hijacked. Community anchors but does not rescue. Find 2 kinds of witnesses. One practical, a coach, therapist, or friend who helps with structure, and one soul-level peer who understands initiation language. Establish an emergency protocol with them, a 24-hour check-in call, a retreat plan, or even a simple text code that signals collapse. Isolation amplifies dimensional pressure. Trusted mirrors dissolve distortion. But protect your privacy. Not everyone should see everything. Use discretion about what you reveal and to whom. Finally, translate your trial into craft. One of the deepest survival strategies is turning intensity into a usable form. Writing that clarifies, music that channels, teaching that instructs, projects that build. When a wave hits, journal for 20 minutes and distill 2 sentences of guidance you might give someone else in that storm. Over time, these 2-sentence lessons become a curriculum that both heals you and serves others. By converting suffering into skill, You prevent the weight from calcifying into bitterness. Now ask yourself honestly, which of these survival practices are you currently ignoring? Choose one to commit to for the next 30 days. Start tomorrow morning and report back to yourself each week without judgment. Survival is not heroic absence of pain. It is the disciplined refusal to let pain dictate your life. From signal to skill, turning dimensional gifts into mastery and influence, survival keeps you standing, but mastery makes you unshakable. To be a dimensional chosen one is not just about noticing strange signs or learning how to endure turbulence. It is about turning those signals into usable skills. Otherwise, you become someone who collects mystical experiences but never grows into the force you were meant to be. A sign without skill is like lightning that scorches the ground but lights no path. But when you learn to convert your dimensional gifts into action, you step into influence, not because you want power over others, but because people can feel the clarity radiating from you. The first transformation is awareness into articulation. Many of you sense things, energy shifts, moods in the room, visions in your dreams, but they remain foggy impressions. Mastery requires language. You must learn to describe what you sense without diluting it. Journal every impression you get, no matter how small. Then practice turning it into words someone else can understand. For example, if you sense heaviness in a room, don't just say, "It feels weird." Train yourself to say, "There's an unspoken tension here," as though people are withholding truths. This articulation sharpens your perception and turns your inner signals into external communication that others can trust. The second transformation is pattern recognition. Dimensional chosen ones are bombarded with fragments, dreams, synchronicities, random flashes of insight. Alone, these are noise. Together, they form a map. Mastery is connecting them. Keep a notebook where you record dreams, strange encounters, sudden instincts. Review it weekly and look for repeating images, numbers, or themes. Soon you'll notice patterns others miss, cycles of collapse and rebirth, themes of betrayal and truth, symbols that guide your decisions. Once you see the pattern, you stop reacting blindly and start anticipating. Instead of chaos surprising you, you walk into chaos prepared. The third transformation is energy modulation. Survival means you endure vibration. Mastery means you adjust it. You felt what happens when you walk into a space. Some people calm down, others become defensive. This is not accident, it's resonance. Start practicing deliberate shifts. Before entering a meeting, ground your breath and imagine radiating calm. Watch the room shift. Before a confrontation, summon fire in your posture and voice. Observe how people step back. Influence is not manipulation. It is conscious stewardship of your frequency. You're already affecting others unconsciously. The skill is learning to do it intentionally. The fourth transformation is teaching through embodiment. You don't need a classroom or a stage. Your life itself becomes instruction. People are always watching how you respond to criticism, how you handle loss, how you celebrate joy without arrogance. Each choice teaches. The most powerful masters rarely shout. They simply live in alignment so fully that others are changed just by being near them. This requires ruthless integrity. If you preach boundaries but never hold them, your influence collapses. If you talk about truth but live in lies, your frequency rots. Influence requires congruence. Your actions, words, and energy must sing the same note. The fifth transformation is creative output. Every dimensional chosen one must have a channel where the energy is externalized. Without output, vibration festers. For some, this is art. For others, it's building businesses, writing books, leading movements, or even parenting with radical presence. The form doesn't matter, the consistency does. Pick one medium and commit to creating weekly. Your work doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to exist. Influence grows when your inner frequency leaves behind artifacts others can touch, see, or learn from. The sixth transformation is service. Dimensional gifts are not private trophies, they exist to ripple into the collective. Ask yourself daily, who benefits if I express this gift? Who suffers if I hide it? When you align your skills with service, people naturally follow you. Not because you demand attention, but because truth magnetizes. Service does not mean self-sacrifice until exhaustion. It means strategically using your energy where it multiplies. This shift from self-focus to collective impact is where mastery blossoms into influence. The seventh transformation is humility in power. Influence can intoxicate. When people begin to look to you for answers, you may be tempted to believe you are the source. But mastery knows the truth. You are a vessel, not the origin. Humility keeps your power clean. Practice crediting the mystery beyond you. Bow in private moments not to an idol, but to the vast intelligence moving through your life. Humility creates safety around your influence. Without it, people sense danger. With it, they sense trust. So the question you must ask is this: are you content with noticing signs, or will you claim the responsibility of turning those signs into skill? Because signs alone isolate you, but skills make you useful, and usefulness is where legacy begins. The eternal legacy of dimensional chosen ones, what it means to walk beyond this world. Every path eventually leads to a single question: what remains after you are gone? This question terrifies some people, but for a dimensional chosen one, it is fuel. Legacy is not just reputation or memory, it is frequency that outlives the body. When you live as a dimensional being, your energy imprints on the fabric of reality. The words you spoke in truth continue to echo. The moments you chose courage over fear ripple into generations you will never meet. Legacy is not carved in stone, it is carved in vibration. To grasp legacy, you must first accept impermanence. Everything you own, every role you play, even the body you inhabit will pass. Only what you embodied remains. Did you embody clarity? Did you embody compassion? Did you embody courage? If yes, that frequency will travel through the web of human consciousness long after your name is forgotten. Think of teachers, healers, rebels, and visionaries who left no statues yet changed entire cultures. Their essence outlived them because they lived aligned with truth. That is what it means to walk beyond this world. The legacy of chosen ones also requires confrontation with shadow. Some of you believe leaving a legacy means always being remembered as good or pure. That is false. Legacy comes from wholeness, not performance. When you integrate shadow, your life teaches others that transformation is possible. If you hide your flaws, you pass on repression. If you face your flaws and transform them into fuel, you pass on liberation. Ask yourself this: will you leave behind an illusion of perfection or a path others can follow into authenticity? Another dimension of legacy is transmission. The chosen frequency must be handed on, not hoarded. Transmission can be subtle. A phrase you tell a child, a habit you model for a friend, a piece of work you publish into the world. It doesn't require fame. A simple story told at the right moment can carry more dimensional power than 100 books unread. Do not underestimate the ripple of a single act of presence. Someone you barely notice may shape their life around the seed you planted. Legacy also demands sacrifice. To truly walk as a chosen one means you will not fit into every box society offers. You may lose approval, comfort, or even safety, but these sacrifices refine your energy into something rare and enduring. Comfort never leaves legacy. Discomfort does. Every time you choose depth over ease, you write your name into the eternal current. Every time you stay true to your vibration when the world pressures you to betray it, you ensure that your frequency cannot be erased. The eternal nature of legacy is not just about humanity, it is about dimensions. Think of your actions as signatures written across multiple layers of reality. When you choose truth, you align timelines. When you spread clarity, you strengthen unseen bridges between worlds. Your influence is not limited to physical descendants. It extends into the soul fields, where countless beings draw inspiration. Walking beyond this world means recognizing that your vibration educates not only humans, but the cosmos itself. And yet, legacy is not about trying to be remembered. The paradox is that those who chase remembrance rarely create it. Legacy is born when you forget yourself in service of the work, the calling, the dimension. When you give everything to the frequency moving through you, without obsession over credit, you embody something eternal. Do you have the courage to live so fully aligned that you no longer care who notices? That is when your vibration becomes immortal. So I ask you, what frequency are you writing into the future right now? If your life ended tonight, what residue of your choices would still vibrate tomorrow? Would it be confusion, bitterness, silence, or would it be courage, clarity, love, and unshakable depth? The answer is not in your intentions, but in your daily practices, in the way you treat others when no one is watching, in the way you return to your path even after you stumble. The eternal legacy of dimensional chosen ones is not about being larger than life, but about being true to life. Every breath aligned with your calling inscribes permanence into impermanence. Every choice to embody the higher dimension is a gift to the world that comes after you. When you finally step beyond this world, what you leave will not be monuments but momentum, currents of energy that others can ride into their own awakening. That is your true immortality. And so the journey ends where it began, with recognition. If these 7 signs resonate, you are not ordinary. You are chosen. And with that recognition comes responsibility, not to be perfect, but to live so honestly, so courageously, that your vibration becomes a doorway for others. Walk it with reverence, walk it with power, walk it with love. Because the dimensions are watching, and the future is waiting for the imprint only you can leave. This is the legacy of the dimensional chosen ones. This is the path beyond worlds.